Hey folks, welcome back, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot for the first time if you're brand new here, and as I always say, thank you so much for joining me for our pick a card reading. Now, today's reading was actually kind of inspired on some collective energy I was picking up on. For some reason today, when I was trying to decide, well, what topic do we do for this particular video, the collective energy felt kind of anxious. I was like, I don't know if a lot of you are going through a lot of stresses or worries right now, but in either case, I thought, let's do a comforting message from your spirit guides to at least help soothe some of that anxious energy out there. So, without further ado, let us choose our pile leaders to pick our messages with. Calling on spirit guides of our collective for these readings. Please guide us to the right cards. Thank you. Okay, I'm feeling right about there. Let's draw from the top. There's pile 1, pile 2, and pile number 3. Let's unveil them together. So for pile number 1 over here on the left, your pile leader is portal with the keywords of open versus closed. Okay. For pile number 2 here in the middle, your leader today is, cycle with regressed versus evolved. And last but not least, for our wonderful pile number 3 over here on the right, your pile leader today is security with the keywords of insecure versus safe. So quick refresher, pile 1 is portal, pile 2 is cycle, and pile number 3 is security, though as I always say, you're perfectly welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide. If you're new to pick a card readings and you want a suggestion for a method, or you just want to take a few seconds out of your stressful day, please follow my voice right now. Close your eyes and take in a deep, cleansing breath. Imagine light filling your lungs as you do so, then hold it for just a few moments. And then when you breathe back out again, open your eyes and see where they're drawn most first out of these 3 cards. And that is what I recommend you choose for your pile today. You'll feel it kind of as a intuition or a sensation of, this is right for me, down in your gut. But whatever your method, whenever you are ready, you can drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the video, find the timestamp for your pile, and I'll see you in our chat about the gentle message of comfort that your spirit guides want to pass along to you today. See you in the reading. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about the comforting message from your spirit guides. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the card portal with the keywords open versus closed for your pile leader. So the first thing that really stands out to me intuitively about this card, pile 1, is just the symbolism of a portal overall. As we all know, portals are a gateway of some sort or a threshold from one world into another. So what I'm hearing is, I feel like part of the reason you came to this reading, why you came here for comfort, is because you're either on the threshold or sort of just on the cusp of a gateway to something, but you want just a little bit more of a nudge of comfort in that you want to know that it's coming, or that you're almost there to whatever it is you're trying to attain or what goal you're trying to achieve, etc. Or it's some sort of more distant goal or gateway or portal to something that you don't quite see yet. You're not quite at the point of being like, oh, it's in the distance, I'm almost there, right? And maybe you're kind of anxious over how far away it is. It's something along those lines I'm hearing from Spirit. So I think this reading is going to be a comforting message regarding that thing that you're trying to attain, or that cusp you're just on, or that moving from one world into the next, of course, metaphorically speaking, when it comes to this dream or this goal, okay? Or it could also be, I'm hearing for some of you, it might be you feel like a door was closed on you and you're not sure why, like a portal was just completely shut, and you're like, man, I wish that portal was open again, or at least I knew why it was closed to me. Something along those lines, or it's like you're trying to open a door, okay? So let's put your pile leader over here to the left to begin the reading, and I'm going to start with a tarot spread to get more context about what's going on, to see if there's any synchronicities between the imagery of the tarot cards and the meanings and what I was intuitively picking up on right just now. Okay, so Spirit, please come forward. Spirit guides specifically of pile 1 today collectively. Can you tell us more about the situation at hand that they're needing comfort about, as well as where is that going? What is the comforting message? Thank you. Excuse me. Okay, so we have 2 cards that just flew out here at the beginning. We have the 4 of Cups. Oh, we actually have 3. I lied. There's a surprise card. It was underneath the 4 of Cups reversed, so it came out like this. So actually the first card is the 5 of Swords, pile number 1. And the 5 of Swords is often about a conflict of some sort. As we can see here, there's a group of people. One looks victorious. He's got 3 swords. And then the other 2 are leaving with the swords on the ground. Okay, so we'll talk more about that in a second. That's your first card. Then we had the second card, which was the 4 of Cups that I thought was the first card reversed. So we noticed something. That's usually what that means. And then the the third card, I said second because it's the 2 of Swords, okay, is, well, yeah, the 2 of Swords, literally about a choice of some sort being the overall, like the core heart of the matter, I call the middle card, okay? And then let's pull your last 2 cards, specifically about where this is going and what the comforting message is. Okay, so 2 more cards, Spirit guides, please. Where's this all going in the near future and the outcome? What's comforting? And I want to say, pile number 1, I think this came to you as a surprise regarding this thing that you're trying to achieve, this portal you're trying to walk through, or that was like closed on you. Because, I mean, sometimes I feel like the way even that cards fall out of the deck when I draw them is a bit of an indicator towards like how an event happened, especially with the first 3 cards. I tend to read that in my spread as like, this is what happened up until this point. It was just like, boom, all of a sudden all these cards come flying out, just like it feels like this event kind of just came as a surprise to you. I don't think you were expecting this. I don't think you, especially for those of you where it was like a door closing, okay? That, or there's something about the situation at hand, if it's more of a goal or a portal you're trying to walk through, gateway you're trying to walk through, doorway, etc., where something happened recently that was unexpected regarding this goal in mind, and maybe that's what's causing you some anxiety. All right, and then let's look at the 4th card. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment, but that does tend to deal with manifestations and exploring things regarding earthly materials, because this is Pentacles, which is about finances or career typically, and also health and home sometimes I read as well. And then last but not least, we have the 3 of Wands. Beautiful. Okay, so I do want to reassure you, pile number 1, if there's anything you walk away from this reading with, it's that your plans are going to work out in the end. That is what the 3 of Wands as a outcome card represents in this type of reading, okay? Your plans are going to work out in the end, but looking at all of it in totality. Let's check in here. So yes, in the very beginning, there was some sort of conflict. This is the inciting incident here with that 5 of Swords. As I said, it's like someone battling, and especially being the 5 of Swords compared to, say, like the 5 of Wands, if that had come out. The 5 of Swords is often about harsh conflict, especially when it comes to either, a battle of like information, like maybe it was kind of a surprise. Someone told you something like, oh, surprise, there's this wrench in this plan that you have, or this goal, this portal that you're trying to walk through, etc. Or it was like the door closing was a surprise. Someone told you that, right? Not a fun surprise, obviously, right? Or it could also be a conflict of like a verbal fight of some sort too. That can be another way that Swords manifests itself, because it is the air suit. So we talk about, air being like communication, okay? Then we move on to the 4 of Cups reversed as the recent past, or the event that happened after that. And the 4 of Cups reversed is, I think, reflective of that surprise. I think it's reflective of you finally like noticing something. So maybe right away when this conflict occurred and the surprise occurred, you didn't even necessarily realize it at first, but then it was like a slow dawning of realization of, oh, there's a wrench in this plan. oh, there's something here that I don't know how this is going to work out. Because the Four of Cups reversed, I mean, upright, typically it's someone who doesn't notice something right behind them. But reversed, the Four of Cups is they finally turn around and they're like, oh, that was there. And especially in a situation like this, it's kind of an oh crap moment. I mean, not to make that light, right? Because it's not fun at all, but that's kind of how I see it, or like how Spirit is telling me to convey that. So we have the oh crap moment. Not fun, right? Surprise. And then in the current position, you have the Two of Swords. More swords energy, more air, right? And what that means, pile number 1, is you're currently at the cusp of a choice. I feel like you've been drawn to a point of, now I have to make a choice based on these kind of crud cards I've been dealt by the universe, okay? Or by other people, I think, especially with the Five of Swords energy influence, okay? The Two of Swords is I'm indecisive. It's excuse me, it's I want to make a choice, but I have no idea what choice or path to take. Okay, and maybe that's part of why you came to this reading, is not only the surprise and the wanting to get this goal achieved, but at the same time a feeling of, what the heck do I do? What choice do I make? What path do I take from this point forward? Okay, here's where the advice comes in, as well as what's the comforting message. In terms of advice, pile number 1, you have the Page of Pentacles reversed in the near future position. And what that means is there's something about you needing to explore more of your options regarding materials or finances or career that would help improve this situation. Maybe even the surprise was like the loss of a job, in which case, like, exploring, like the Page of Pentacles reversed needs to do would be like, keep looking for other jobs, as difficult as it is. And I completely understand and sympathize with pile number 1. The job market nowadays is just kind of trash from what I've heard, and also in my own experience, so from others and myself, right? So I get that it's tough, but Spirit is advising you, please continue doing that, even if you feel like you are disheartened, okay? Because we do have the outcome of the Three of Wands. Your plans will go to fruition. It seems like we've had a little bit of a pause, a little bit of the brakes on the car, but keep going and you'll get to that point, okay? They're promising that to you. Same thing too, even if it isn't like a loss of a job, is just that one example. It could also be needing to explore more in terms of, like, say it was like you put an offer on a house or an apartment and like it was denied to you, and that was kind of the surprise, and maybe there was a bit of a fight over it, and you're like, well, what the heck do I do? Because that was my last option, okay? So that could also be like an indicator of keep looking, okay? I'm hearing some message too for those of you especially that are looking for a place to live. Your answer is something to do with a place near water. Okay, specifically I hear like it's by a canal or like a river or a stream, or it's like some faster flowing mechanism of water. Like even if it's in like a cityscape, I feel like there's a fountain nearby, or there is like a river that goes through the city, okay? It's something about fast moving water. It's not quite as like placid as, say, like a lake or like a pond. It's like a current of some sort. So if you're looking for places to live, please look for like rivers and like fountains and things like that where water is fast moving, okay? Let's see. And then in general, too, part of the message of comfort, pile number 1, is that, when I read reversals in a reading like this, yes, they're advice cards, but I also read them as potential areas that are not going so well right now that will improve because it's in the future position, right? Which means you will have more options. You will be able to explore more in whatever it is regarding this, portal, gateway, door that was closed, goal that you have in mind, okay? And then I'll just reiterate, remember, things are going to go to plan eventually, or they're going to follow along with your plans eventually. It's just there's been a tiny little hitch. And I think part of the anxiety you might have right now, pile 1, is this deep fear of, it's like you think it's a bigger monkey wrench than it actually is. You think, oh crap, this is going to completely unravel everything that I've been doing or wanting to achieve, or like I'll never get back on track. Maybe that's kind of another thought coming through, is what I'm hearing intuitively. It's going to get back on track. Okay, I promise you. That is what your spirit guides are saying, all right? And we'll see. I'm going to draw your oracle cards, pile 1, but I also want to see if there's any intuitive messages too about like how it will get back on track. Let's draw those cards and see. We're going to do the Healing Spirits Oracle first. Okay, so spirit guides. What else do you want to say about this situation? Maybe even how it'll come to fruition, how those plans will get back on track. Thank you. Oh boy, Jesus. Well, there's 2 that just went flying, so we're going to take both of them, pile 1. We have happiness is freedom from fear, number 24. That is the first Healing Spirits Oracle, and then this one just came out flying with it. Send out help to others. Interesting. Let's look at that for a moment. Pile 1. Happiness, freedom from fear, and send out help to others. We have a prominence of a lot of green energy, which is healing. So it's like healing from wounds inflicted, especially if there was an argument, right? Or conflict of some sort. And then we have a lot of purple, which is about like intuitive spiritual energy. Even in your pile leader too, she has like a lot of purple and kind of pink colors. Let's see. Intuitive messages coming through. One moment, pile 1. Yeah, I think you're afraid of something. I think that's that fear of the surprise or like the thing going off track. You're afraid of something going completely wrong, which is kind of a given based on everything we've described so far, pile 1, right? It's a message of advice to not be afraid to reach out for help. Okay, I know the card says send out help to others, but I have a feeling that it's more of a message of you sending out a message of please help to others from what I'm hearing from spirit guides, okay? So I don't know if you, for those of you especially that are looking for like a job, say, that's just another encouragement to, please keep applying because like someone will notice your resume soon, I promise. But also like for those of you that are trying to find like a place to live, same thing, like send out help to others. Maybe there's even like a way you could send out like a local social media post saying, hey, I need a place to stay. I would pay this much for rent for each month, etc. Things like that. Like it might be a more non-traditional way of reaching out or applying for something than you've been doing so far. I feel like intuitively you're going to get this thing back on track in a way that you don't expect. Specifically, it's, like I said, either a non-traditional way of achieving this, or it's in a method or a manner that you haven't tried before, but then, like, surprise, it works. Okay, that's what I'm hearing from your spirit guides, all right? And then, 2, the happiness is freedom from fear card is also a piece of advice, and I know it's super hard to apply this, especially when you have a fear like, oh, I lost my job. I'm not getting to the goal I wanted to achieve. There was a surprise wrench, or, oh, I can't find a place to live. That's very, very, very understandable existential, right, type fears, survival fears. But what spirit guides are saying is to not let fear drive your decisions in this case, especially because there's maybe a bit of a warning too of like, don't let desperation drive you to maybe taking something like less than your worth. Same thing too, like, focus more about what your best case scenario would be with this. Like the best outcome would be with this, rather than the pessimism of like, what's the worst outcome? Because I feel like, and very understandably, once again, pile 1, I get that 100%. I think everybody's like this at some points in life. You might be kind of pessimistic right now, 100% understandable, but Spirit is saying, I think you help yourself a little bit more if you look at it with optimism. Okay, easier said than done. But look at it with optimism. Don't let fear drive you with this. Okay, let's look at your other oracle cards. We have the Woodland Wardens here. Okay, we'll see if any other cards just come flying out. Just like that Healing Spirits Oracle, too. I didn't mention this. Whoosh, something came flying out like a surprise. Like, there's just surprises all over this particular reading. I think both in, like, the inciting incident of what happened, but then also in how it resolves itself in a positive way. Anything else, Spirit Guides, for pile number 1 today? Okay, I'm feeling this one right here. We have the Badger and Ginkgo with Healing Wounds. Okay, so you're not just on a journey, pile one, of like getting a tangible result from this. I mean, you will get back on track and your plans will go to fruition physically and what you're like literally trying to manifest here. But I think another aspect you're not noticing or you might not realize until like you're in like retrospect looking back at all this after all is said and done is the understanding of, oh, that also healed a wound of mine. For some of you, it might be a fear of rejection because, you know, that fear is very common when we come up across, you know, getting turned down for a job, or maybe like the inciting incident here was like a breakup where someone closed a door on you in a relationship type way, you know, which, yeah, romantic if it's a breakup, but also it could be platonic. Maybe a friend closed a door on you and you're like, I have no idea why they just turned their back on me. So that creates a wound, right? Pile number one. But there's something about the resolution of this that's going to heal a wound inside of you. You know, maybe you're feeling kind of grouchy right now, understandable. You know, of course, like when I look at the badger, we think of badgers as, well, at least honey badgers are very aggressive, at least in terms of like we associate them with like grouchiness, right? So that might be that pessimism I was talking about earlier popping up again as a synchronicity in this reading. I think, once again, if you focus on the positives as much as possible, acknowledge your hurts, acknowledge your wounds, but also have optimism for the future. And that will help you with healing as well. So let's look at your surrender card too. And intuitively, this might not resonate with all of you, but I'm hearing a message too that part of this resolution will come through an older man. So for those of you looking for a place to stay, it might be that you're renting or like rooming with like an older man. Older masculine energy. It could also be like if it's a job, like the person who hires you is an older man. It's something along those lines. Okay. That came forward as an intuitive message. All right. Anything else, Spirit, for our wonderful pile number one with what should they surrender or what will be surrendered here in the comfort? Okay. Oh, that's the one right there. It says pick me, and I'm going to pick it. The surrender card is surrender procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. And I hate to repeat myself, pile one, but remember what we said about the Page of Pentacles reversed. Keep trying. Keep exploring your options with finances, career, home, and health. Okay? Keep going. Don't procrastinate at this point. As much as it, and like, I get it, like, self-care, right? Always self-care. Always take breaks for yourself, pile number one, when you need to. But there's a little bit of a warning here that if you procrastinate, the goal that you're trying to achieve, the portal you're trying to walk through, etc., or the healing from whatever this wound or door close was, might be put off if you procrastinate. It's not saying that you won't get it, because you do have the Three of Wands as an outcome, which means that's the outcome. You're going to have your plans go as you expected, but there's a warning, like I said. Don't procrastinate. Keep walking upwards. Keep looking. Keep searching, okay? That's just another reflection of that Page of Pentacles reverse that we saw earlier, okay? Let me look over your cards and make sure there aren't any other messages. Oh, also, that's another thing that just popped forward, pile number one. Surrender procrastination, I think, is also a message of it's going to come sooner than you think. The procrastination is, you know, not only advice to you to not procrastinate like we just explored, but I think it's also a message that the universe is saying that I, the universe, am not going to procrastinate. So it's like something happening faster than you expected. Okay, so that's another reason you should keep up hope, right? Another reason you should not fear right now, okay? All right, let's see. Any other intuitive messages for pile one today? Spirit guides. Also, anything else? Or these cards that I notice. Looking at the elemental symbolism, we have lots of air because we have two swords. We have one wands, one cup, one pentacle. So that tells me a lot of this is a mental struggle, really, more than anything, pile number one. So just be aware, of course, of your anxiety. Be aware of your mental health right now. Obviously, like when things happen, like we lose a job or a relationship or, you know, a housing situation, that causes a lot of mental stress, very understandably. So just keep an eye on your own mental stress right now, pile one. Please self-care in that area, especially right now. And then kind of an undercurrent under that, of course, is we do have the 1 Pentacle card and the 1 Cup card as reversals, which is the Water and the Earth cards in your spread. So it's also, I wonder if you're kind of making your emotions a bit on a back burner right now. It's like you're not really, I mean, that can be another message of the 4 of Cups reverse, is not paying attention, at least initially, to something that you're feeling. So I think part of the healing as well, pile 1, will come through you taking time to really work through your feelings around what happened. And through the process of optimism, through the alchemy of what optimism can do, turn that negative emotion into something positive. Okay, I think, and what I'm hearing intuitively from that too is I feel like you're going to realize after you succeed here, because it's almost like you need the proof of this, like, of the succeeding in order to believe and heal that wound and believe in that, what I'm about to say. And the thing that you'd believe in is that it's like they're saying it's not your fault. So if you did lose a job, wasn't your fault. Closed door relationship wasn't your fault. Lost a place to live was not your fault. Okay, I feel like there were outside circumstances that affected this a lot more than you yourself did. So also, because I think you might be having a bit of fear of finding a replacement for whatever this was, because you fear that it was something inherent to you that made you lose the first iteration of it, or the first thing that you lost, okay? And Spirit's guides are saying that's not true. Okay, so believe in your skill and your strength and your ability to attain whatever it is you're looking for. Okay, because it wasn't an inherent lack on your part that made you lose the first thing in the first place. Okay, that's the last thing they want to say to you. So there you go, pile number 1. There is your comforting message from your spirit guides today. I hope, of course, most of all, that it helped you. That's what I care about most with all of my readings. But also that it that you liked it and that it resonated. There you go, I got the words out. And if so, please like the video, comment down below, and subscribe if you have not done so yet already. And as I always say in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 1. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome to your comforting message reading from your spirit guides. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the card of cycle with regressed versus evolved as the keywords for your pile leader today. Now, looking at this card, the first intuitive message is popping forward for you today, pile 2. I think part of what drew you to this reading, or what you've kind of been anxious about, the topic of what spirit guides want to speak to you with, is something to do with a pattern that you fear is repeating, or a pattern that keeps happening and you don't quite know why. Or it could also be something like cyclical that you're hoping happens again. There's something to do with like circles, especially because, like, you know, the card is titled cycle. Things that happen in repeat, things that happen again and again and again, just like the turn of the seasons. I'm trying to pick up specifically what it is. Now, of course, as a general reading, every single one of you is going to be a little bit different about what cycle we're talking about. But I feel it's like you trying to attain or achieve or hold on to something is what I'm hearing for most of you. It's a cycle of wanting to continue achieving something or attaining it, holding on to it. And maybe you're worried about that cycle being broken. Or it could also be a cycle of, like, you have been having trouble attaining something and you fear like that's going to continue being a bad pattern. All right. Something along those lines. That's what it feels like this message is about today. Now, as I said, everyone's going to be a bit different, and we'll see more clarity in the tarot spread, which we're going to do right now. So I'm going to put your pile leader over here to the left to begin, and let's draw your tarot cards to start. So spirit guides of pile 2 collectively, could you tell us a little bit more about what this is? Can you also give us a little bit of an inkling about how it's going to turn out better than they think? Because this is, you know, a comforting reading, right? What do you want to say to them, spirit guides? Thank you. I also feel for some of you, there's like a lack of information that's been bothering you. Maybe that's why you're afraid it's going to repeat or won't repeat. Maybe you're waiting for feedback from somebody. You're waiting for maybe someone to do something again, but like they haven't yet. So you're like, oh no, like, did I lose this cycle or this pattern or this person or thing? Something along those lines. Okay. All right, that feels like the right one. Let's draw the 5. At least energetically, it felt correct with my hands. Okay, let's draw the cards. So, your first card today, pile 2, is, overcoming a sorrow of some sort. Yes. So, the 5 of Wands is the inciting, I'm sorry, not 5 of Wands, duh. The 5 of Cups, not the Wands, right? Cups. The 5 of Cups as an inciting incident, pile number 2, the first card that came out, tends to represent a time in life where you did lose something, or you fear that you lost something. But here's the upturn. The 5 of Cups reversed usually means overcoming that sorrow or that loss. So it either means that you, sorry, 1 second, an intuitive message is coming through. It's like I'm seeing like imagery of you, pile 2, of having dropped something, but then you catch it again in midair. You might still be at the point right now that you, you're feeling the loss of the 5 of Cups. Like if it were upright, like, oh no, I'm sad, I lost this thing, my cup spilled over. But you're not realizing that you're going to catch it again. What you thought you dropped or what you thought was going to stop. Okay, so interesting. And for some reason, it was like a ring. I don't know why. Some of you, I mean, literally might be literally a ring, right? But it could also be symbolism of you, like a promise being dropped, because typically in cartomancy, rings tend to represent like promises, because like think of a marriage ring, right, being a promise to be loyal, right? A promise of I belong to somebody. Okay, so some sort of promise. Like someone promised you something and you thought, man, they're going to break their promise, or I'm going to lose out on this cycle that has been so steady so far. Something along those lines. Let's look at the next card, pile 2. And then we have the 4 of Swords. Yes, a time of rest. You know what it is, pile 2? I think you might already have inklings that it's going to be fine, because the inciting incident is the 5 of Cups reversed, which means like maybe you can already sort of see a glimpse of things getting better because it is reversed, but there's a period of inactivity here that I think has been causing you some mental anguish, some anxiety, because the 4 of Swords is about rest. It's about something not being very active, okay? Maybe you haven't heard back from somebody in a while. Maybe you haven't been having, say it's like a business that you do or something that you sell. You haven't had orders coming in, and you're like, oh my God, am I gonna, is my business gonna fail, or whatever it is that you do, right? You're like, oh no, this is going to end. Like, I see the signs, even though it's almost conflicting signs, though, pile 2, because it's the 5 of Cups reversed is like a positive thing, but then you have the 4 of Swords, which is kind of a neutral, but like things are slow. Things are not active right now sort of energy. So it's like those two combining together to create this mental anguish soup of like, maybe you're kind of wondering if you're too optimistic, and then sometimes you're wondering if you're too pessimistic. And that can really get us when we're in those moments of indecision or like uncertainty when it comes to outcomes, and like if a cycle is going to continue or a pattern is going to repeat. Okay. All right, let's look at the heart of the matter core card, or the present tense. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, you're feeling really insecure about it too, aren't you? Because the Queen of Pentacles reversed, pile 2, is I feel insecure, okay? Especially because the Queen is feminine energy turned inward, okay? It's the softer energy. It's the more intuitive energy, compared to, say, like if the King of Pentacles had come out, where he's more outward focused. She's inward focused. And specifically because she's earth, that's about material things. That's about our money, our job, career, etc. It's about, like if you do have a business, that could be another indicator that this is a business related thing. Like, oh God, orders aren't coming in. Or it could also be an insecurity in terms of like a relationship, or it could be insecurity in terms of, like, for those of you where I was saying where maybe it's a pattern that you fear is going to repeat, like say, maybe a lot of rejection has happened to you recently, and you're like, oh my God, I feel insecure because what if I just keep getting rejected? I feel so disheartened, and I feel so like Like, I don't have security. It's that sort of energy, okay? Especially in the present tense. Oof. And that makes sense, pile, too, because obviously, like, you know, when we feel like we've had a loss, or well, for sure have had a loss, I feel like, in your case, or a hardship of some sort, as well as when things are kind of at rest, we get that restlessness, and our mind starts to wander, and we start to think to ourselves, you know, when we lack information, our mind tends to fill in the gaps, because what are brains but pattern recognizers, right? That's how we survive, is we have brains that recognize patterns, okay? You know, like, you know, the pattern recognition of, you know, whenever I go next to animal that is vicious with big teeth and claws, oh, that is something I should avoid. Like, just basic biological level pattern recognition that humans understand, okay? And that's great when we're trying to survive, but the sad part is, pile 2, is that, you know, in our modern lives, when that's not quite as so much most of the time of a worry, our brains extrapolate that to you know, things like, oh, I keep getting rejected for jobs. Oh, I got rejected in a relationship. You know, oh, I'm not getting any orders in right now. Oh, God. Like, and so we create monsters in our heads based on gaps of information or gaps of communication. All right. And that's what I'm feeling right now here for you. So let's look at your near future card. We have the 7 of Wands reversed, okay? 7 of Wands reversed is putting down our weapons and not having to defend ourselves anymore. So I do feel there's going to be a relief here, especially because this is a reading of comfort. Oftentimes the future cards past the present, so past that Queen of Pentacles, are going to be what's going to resolve or what's going to happen that's positive, okay? There's a feeling of you not having to protect something anymore, or not having to, like, even, like, mentally battle here. I mean, part of maybe the mental anguish here, pile 2, has been you trying to defend your belief in this thing working out. Because so much of that monkey brain that's like, ooh, bad pattern, oh, I must fear this thing, right? Gets in the way, but then finally you're able to put the weapon down and be like, oh, okay, I get this outside validation that this is going to turn out okay. This is going to be a good cycle. The pattern's going to continue in a good way, okay? And 2, sometimes the 7 of Wands reversed can indicate not having to defend ourselves anymore against other people. So if other people have been involved in this situation as well, pile 2, rest assured, you're not going to have to defend yourself as much anymore, especially if you felt surrounded, because that's another really good keyword with the 7 of Wands. Because when you look at him upright, right, he's on the high ground. He's looking down. He's got 1 wand, and there's 6 others about ready to just beat at his legs, right? Like, they're ready, but he's on the high ground. He's defending himself. He's being stout and strong. And when it's reversed, he can finally put that defensiveness down, okay? You won't have to defend your little island anymore, your little kingdom, right? And that will also help cure the insecurity, right? And then last but not least, we have the 8 of Wands, okay, as the outcome. And what that means, pile number 2, is something happening with speed. So I will say this. The comfort here is that if you're worried about something happening fast enough, especially because of the 4 of Swords energy that popped out earlier of inactivity or being rested or like it's something sleeping, okay? The 8 of Wands is like the complete opposite energy of, you know, it's almost like a car racing by, or like a really fast set of 8 wands shooting down from the sky, almost like arrows, or another really good metaphor I like to use with the 8 of Wands is like a shooting star blazing down to earth, okay? It's something that happens that's almost divine. It's something that happens almost kind of out of the blue. It's also something that happens very, very fast, like, you know, the new thing I said earlier. I love that word. Anyways, I don't care if it makes me sound childish. It's fun. All right. So yes, things will happen faster than you expect. Things are going to resolve faster than you expect. So if you're waiting for communication where there's been a pattern of communication before, there's just been a slight gap so far, the communication will happen quickly. All right. And especially because this reading is going up in the month of August. If you're watching this at the time that it's uploaded, this is number 8. Okay. So that means this month very soon for whatever it is you're waiting for. Or if it's like more orders for your business, this month very soon. If it is hoping that a pattern continues, you'll get that confirmation very soon. Okay, or even if it's not August when you watch this, because my readings are timeless, you can always watch them whatever month, whatever year, 20 years in the future if you'd like. Soon. within the next month or so is what I'm hearing for all of you, okay? Beautiful. So we see a resolvement of this. We see a positive cycle continuing. We see overcoming the sorrow or the loss or the hardship that you've been going through, right? And also the insecurity. You'll get that outside validation that you didn't have to be insecure in the first place. Understandable that you were. 100% understandable. Everyone would feel like that in your position, pile 2, but you won't have to defend it anymore. You won't have to feel insecure anymore. You'll put the weapon down or the defensiveness over, like your mind kind of battling against you and mentally anguishing, or maybe even other people have been fighting against you a little bit too. That will come to a rest. Things will resolve fast. Okay, let's look at some of your other oracle cards here. Pile 2. Spirit guides, anything else you want to say about this situation for a wonderful pile 2? Anything else comforting, or about maybe how it comes to fruition, advice, things like that? There we go. I'm feeling this one right here. We have, when it feels right, do it. Okay, so not only do we have another indication of something happening very quickly, like the 8 of Wands we had down here, but also maybe it's a piece of advice, pile 2, of when you go through this process of resolving whatever this anxiety has been, of cycles, patterns, etc., gaps in communication, maybe the feeling someone dropped the ball on a promise. Don't hesitate when it feels right in your gut, your intuition, and your heart to take action, okay? Maybe even part of this has been you, like, say if it is like a gap in communication, pile 2, maybe you haven't really reached out to the other person. Maybe you've been kind of waiting to see because you're maybe a little bit insecure about, like, well, if I reach out to them, are they going to think I'm needy or clingy or annoying or, insert bad adjective here, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they'll take it. Sometimes when you communicate and reach out to people, it encourages them because they think, oh, this person's excited to talk to me about this or is excited to do this thing, right? So reach out if you can, if that's like a communication thing is what the matter is, right? Same thing too if it's, you thinking a bad pattern is continuing and you're afraid that it won't break, right? Follow your heart as you go on, because not only are you reassured that the bad pattern will break, right? Just to say it, pile 2, it's like, just as long as you follow your intuition, whatever the situation is, and when it feels right, and you do things right when it feels right, go ahead and go forth. Okay, don't hesitate. I think maybe too, that's where the 4 of Swords came in earlier. Maybe you were hesitating a lot on your own end as well. Maybe that's part of why it hasn't come to fruition, right? Maybe you were scared to reach out. Maybe you were scared to find out the information you needed to continue on. Maybe you were waiting back on the results of something and you were like, oh man, I don't even want to look at the results because holy crap, what if they're bad? Okay. Look at them when it feels right. Okay? Look at them when it feels right. Do things when it feels right. All right, let's look at your Woodland Wardens Oracle here. Spirit guides, anything else? Advice? How this will come to fruition. Oop, and I just had a bunch of cards fall on the floor. One moment, pile 2. If you hear chair noises, that is me swiveling around. Whoopsie daisy. Apparently I have butterfingers today. Okay. We'll do another shuffle. There we go. I did the shuffle on my lap, a little bit more stable than on the side of the table. Okay, now spirit guides. Anything else you want to say? See, just like earlier when I saw the ring dropping but then catching it. It's like you think you lost something, but you're able to pick it right back up again, just like the cards. All right, spirit guides. What else do you want to say? Right there, I'm feeling. Is that the right one? That's the right one. Okay. We have, is that a mink? Or it's a marten, excuse me. The marten and foxglove with mischief. Okay, so something might be even kind of unexpected about this pile, too. Maybe it's a bit unexpected because we think of, and I don't know if martens are exactly like this. I always kind of mix up martens with like minks, and I mix them kind of up with like prairie dogs, groundhogs, etc. A lot of those smaller mammals, right? But when I think of an animal like that, Martin or not, I always kind of think of them like popping their head out of the ground very suddenly. So we have that fast movement, once again, like we saw with the Eight of Wands. Something just popping out at you very out of the blue that you didn't expect to hear back from, right? Or for it to continue in a positive way, or a bad pattern to break in a positive way, etc. Whatever your situation is. It's mischievous. It's something that you don't expect. Even go forward a bit, pile 2, with a bit of playfulness in mind. I know that sounds really odd, but what spirit guides are saying right now is if you tackle this situation, even like, especially right now when you're feeling kind of insecure, in a playful way, in a way of, let's see what happens, rather than, oh my god, I'm panicking and I want it to happen right now. Okay. Look at it more in that lighthearted way. That might help you bring this to fruition in a positive manner even faster. Okay, also, whenever it happens, even if it's not faster, although I feel like it will be, it will make the ride there a lot easier if you look at it more in a playful manner. I think part of the issue, and once again, 100% understandable, pile 2, everyone does this, we get so wrapped up in results that we forget to enjoy what's along the way. We focus on the destination and not the journey, to use the old cliche. So play a little bit. Or even if you're waiting back to hear if like someone ordered something from your business, or, you know, if it's like a relationship where maybe you had a great first date and, well, I guess it's not like a relationship at that point. You know what I meant, pile number 2. And you're waiting to hear back from a first date and you thought it went really well, but like the other person is not communicating quite yet. Be playful. Either, well, reach out when it feels right, do it, right? To them and be playful about it, be mischievous a bit, or just have fun in the meantime. Your life and your happiness and your success, I'm feeling, does not 100% rely on this outcome or someone communicating back to you, pile 2. In fact, you really should look at it as in they're losing out on you if they drop the ball. Okay? If they're going to make you wait, think, I'm going to make them wait. Okay? A little bit. I mean, maybe try communicating to them one more time. When it feels right, do it. And then, you know, see where it goes. Can't talk today. I meant to say tackle, but I just said tack for some reason. I don't know. Tackle it in a way of, this isn't so serious. Okay, be less serious. Why so serious, right, pile 2? All right, and then let's look at your surrender card here. Spirit guides, anything else you want to say to them? What will be surrendered, or what should they surrender? Let's see what pops out. Let's shuffle along. And also, too, I just realized this card, when it feels right, do it, is almost like 2 figures kind of dancing in a circle. So we see the cycle pattern once again. So it's like people kind of dancing around each other. I think a lot of you, this might actually be like a relationship. Not all of you, but a lot of you. And like I said, that could mean, you know, romantic. It could mean like even platonic in a business sense or a friend sense, something along those lines. Excuse me. It's like you're all dancing around each other for some reason. Maybe that's a bit of the play we were saying before. All right, what's the right card here? Spirit guides. That's the one. Okay, thank you. And we have, remember what we said about insecurity, pile number 2, surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Maybe that's the pattern that needs to break here, pile 2, the cycle that needs to break. Let go of outdated beliefs about yourself. And then it says, then you can own your power and soar in your life. There's something about yourself that's outdated in terms of what you believe. Maybe you've had a lot of rejection in the past, so you always believe I'm going to be rejected. Maybe you've had a lot of bad experiences around partners or business partners or friends not communicating to you. And so forever forward, you get anxious when that happens because you feel like, oh, it's like a belief about yourself of like, oh, people don't care about what I have to say or listening to me, or people don't care about getting back to me or communicating to me. I don't matter in their eyes, okay? Whatever it that negative belief is about yourself, pile 2, you have to let it go, okay? Maybe that's even the defensiveness I'm seeing there, especially too, though, like I said, with the insecurity of the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Whatever you're insecure about with this situation, it's not true. That's what your spirit guides are telling you. If you feel I'm unlovable, not true. If you feel the other person, I'm not good enough for this other person, not true. If you feel, oh, my product isn't good, I feel like there's no orders coming in, not true. I mean, maybe the no orders coming in is true, but not the not good enough, right? You have to let go of whatever it is you feel like you're lacking right now. Okay? And that might also bring a bad pattern to a close of feeling insecure. And a bad pattern to a close about things that just aren't true that you believe still. Okay? So have more optimism, pile 2. Tackle this more in a mischievous, playful way. Follow your gut, and when it feels right, do it. Don't believe negative things about yourself in this situation. Don't feel insecure about whatever it is you're feeling insecure about regarding this, okay? And know that it's going to happen faster than you think. That's the final parting message. So, that is your message of comfort from spirit guides today. I hope, of course, most of all, pile 2, that it helped you. That's what I care about most with these readings, that you walk away feeling helped, right? But also that you liked it and that it resonated with your story. And if so, please like the video itself, please comment down below, and please subscribe if you have not done so yet. And as we always say in our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 2. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a comforting message from spirit guides. As you recall, you were drawn to the beautiful card, especially with the black cat. I'm biased, I have a black cat myself, of security with the keywords insecure versus safe. So when I look at this card, pile 3, what pops out to me intuitively from spirit guides is, I think whatever you're kind of anxious about is something to do with security, hence the title of the card. But more specifically, I feel like... Oh, I'm trying to find the best way to explain it, pile 3. One moment, I'm going to just tap in for a second. It's something to do with, like, either you feel let go of, or something that you wish you could let go of. It's like the releasing of something, and it's the fear of like, was I supposed to let that go? Or was I supposed to release whatever that thing was? Or you have some sort of anxiety about, like, if you were the person or like the thing let go, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do now that I got let go of? So, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is like a loss of a job, right? Being let go, because that's literally what it means. You got lost from your job, or you got let go from your job, etc. It can also mean, though, maybe it was like a relationship that ended and it just felt like someone was hugging you, and then boom, the arms came apart and you're like, where's my comfort? Where's my security? It's gone. Now I'm just floating out into this nebulous space that's cold, and it's like no one's embracing me. I feel so lonely. It could manifest that way too, pile 3. But it could also manifest in the way of, what's another example coming to mind here intuitively? One second. I feel like this is odd, but I feel like for some of you, spirit guides are saying there's something that you released, either creatively or like a project you got done at work, creative or not, or there's something about yourself that you've done or tried to display that you feel like people aren't embracing enough, and it's making you feel insecure. Like, I think it's something you wanted to do or present, and you thought there would be fanfare, and it was just crickets. And you're like, oh man, worst nightmare. I feel like I just got hard rejected because it with crickets instead of fanfare. Would not be surprised if maybe the Six of Wands comes out here and you're reading your tarot spread, but it's something along those lines. So just to summarize everything I've been picking up on so far, pile 3, it's you got let go, or you fear letting go of something, or you're afraid that you're going to be let go, or you did let go of something, you released it in a positive way, but you didn't get quite the feedback that you were looking for. Okay. Something along those lines and everything I just explained. So let's get some more context. We're going to do the tarot spread next, as I mentioned just a second ago. And that will provide us more information from Spirit as to what this is all about. Also, how it's going to improve, since this is a reading of comfort, or at least like some sort of resolution message here. So Spirit guides, pile 3 collectively, can you tell us more about what's going on? Thank you. Messages about how it's going to get better, or at least balm their worry a little bit here. You need comfort, right? That's what this reading is all about. So, right there, put that on the bottom. You know, and to pile 3, I feel like some of you feel like you've had to put like a project on the back burner, or you feel like you've been put on the back burner as a person. Like someone put you on hold. Or you feel like you've had to put something really important on hold. Maybe that's part of the two, like the gripping part of the release, like you want something to be let go of, or you want someone to let go. You're like, please let go. Maybe you want to get rid of someone. I don't know, like not, well, it sounds really dark. I don't mean it that way, pile 3, but like wanting to get rid of someone who's maybe like clinging on, or it's like, and I mean that in like they're like legitimately like an influence that you don't want in your life, or someone that's been clinging on in terms of, it's like they won't let go of you in a bad way, something along those lines. Okay, let's look at the cards. We have the Emperor reversed as the inciting incident. What an interesting little twist here. So the Emperor reversed, pile 3, is often about authority in a bad way, or control or power in a bad way. Someone that abuses their power. It could also represent a masculine energy person who is not maybe the nicest, because it's in the negative, right? Could also technically mean something to do with a father figure in a negative way. It could be maybe all of this revolves around something with your father that you're upset about. It could also mean like the main masculine energy in your life. If, say, like this is a relationship, it's like a masculine partner, just for an example. And I mean that like no matter what gender, but like masculine energy majority, right, to their the way that they feel. And then also, too, it's like, especially for like those of you who, like, it was a job loss, that's what I meant to say. Apparently I can't talk today. It's like you feel that being let go from this job was a complete abuse of authority. That's another really good phrase to use with the Emperor reversed. It's something along those lines. So already we're not having fun times. I'm already picking up on that energy. 2, it can also represent a time within and of ourselves that we feel like we lack power, or we lack control over what's going on. Maybe a lot of this anxiety that's has been caused within you, pile 3, is a fear of, I can't control this situation. I want to control this situation so that I know what outcome will come forth. But there's so many aspects that I can't control that I have a fear. I feel insecure, I feel unsafe because something else has the power or authority in this situation. Okay, so we see that. And then the second card is the Page of Cups. So Page of Cups upright can, one of the traditional meanings is a surprise, almost like the fish popping out of the cup there, like, you know, bloop. Came out of the blue, didn't expect it. Page of Cups, too, can also represent a youthful person who's a water sign, or someone who represents water in their energy. Emotional, intuitive, actually, usually wands means creative, but for some reason I'm hearing creative here, too. Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. Ooh, wildfire smoke. Been making some respiratory issues. Okay, so yeah, a youthful person with those qualities. It can also mean needing to explore our feelings around something more. For most of you, I'm hearing, I think it's more of the surprise interpretation, like something happened that came as a surprise. So for those of you that lost a job, that was the surprise. a bad surprise, obviously, because, that's not fun. Or it was like, if it's like a relationship where you were let go, it came as a surprise to you. If it was like you released something and it just fell flat to no fanfare and just crickets, that came as a shock because maybe you had a lot of indicators beforehand that this would go really well. It was like, man, this is going to be smooth sailing. This is going to be amazing. Everyone's just vibing with what I'm creating. And then it just fell flat on its face. Not to your fault, pile number 3. I'm not hearing that. I don't think it was your fault. Sometimes it's just the wrong place and the wrong time. But yeah, it came as a surprise. And then the heart of the matter, we have another page, more youthful energy. The Page of Pentacles, though specifically Earth energy, tends to represent a time of exploring our options and our opportunities when it comes to jobs and career and also home and health. Okay. So I think part of this too, pile 3, is it sent you on a journey of not only exploring your feelings around this, maybe you've had to really kind of reconceptualize, how do I feel about this situation after I've felt this insecurity or this unshakiness or this lack of control and authority, or, around this father figure or this masculine figure, whatever. But it's also caused you to explore a lot too in terms of options with job, money, etc. So especially for those of you that lost a job, makes total sense. But for those of you who perhaps it was like a loss of a relationship, maybe you even had to like get a different job because of it, or a different place to stay, because sometimes I read the Pentacles suit as like the suit of the home. It's our like foundation, right? Our earth, our security, our little hobbit hole. And 2, like if it was something that you released to absolutely like no fanfare, like maybe you tried to sell something that you were creating and like nobody's buying it, or you put music out there and like it just didn't get streamed much on Spotify or whatever. Now you're feeling like I gotta explore my options because I feel like I have no security to stand on. Okay. That's what's everything leading up to this point with these 3 first cards. Okay. Let's look at the future. And this will too, pile 3, be the comfort of the reading. Okay. Near future, we have the 8 of Swords. Now, typically this is a negative card, pile 3. But in a comfort reading like this, I often read the future cards about like what's going to improve because we're asking spirit guides to tell you something to comfort you. Okay, and interestingly enough, I just noticed this. We have the imagery of being held snug again, of being held again, okay, of feeling, because typically the 8 of Swords is a feeling of being trapped, right? A feeling of, I'm stuck, I got all these swords around me, I have these ropes around me, I'm blindfolded, how the heck am I going to get out of this? I feel like I'm completely stuck. But the interesting facet of this is that earlier in the reading, especially with your pile leader, we had a card that illustrated, and through the intuitive messages, the message of, I don't want to be let go. I don't want to be released. I don't want to be, or at least not in this way, I don't want this thing to be released, etc. And so it's almost like odd, but it's 8 of Swords in a positive way of we're going to feel snug again. Okay, I will expand on that more in a second. Usually I spend more time on each card. I just want to see what the outcome is before I say more because, oh, how beautiful, pile number 3. You just got one of the most positive cards in the entire tarot deck. I was like, let's look at the outcome, and then the sun pops out. Okay, so the sun, pile number 3, very positive. It's a card of light. It's a card of happiness and joy. It's a card of truth, of things being apparent, being seen, especially because of the association with light, right? You can't see anything without light, but then the sun pops out, and then boop, you can see things. I'm going to tell you this, pile 3. Especially being next to the 8 of Swords. I almost wonder, for some of you, I'm hearing a message that you thought you were let go, but you weren't let go as much as you thought you were. And I think that's where the 8 of Swords pops in about the being held in place message with it, or feeling stuck or kind of put in one particular position, right? I almost wonder, like, for those of you that lost a job, if they're going to how do I say this on YouTube without, let's see, they're going to soil their pants. That's how I'm going to put it. They're going to soil their pants because they realized, oh crap, we should not have let pile 3 go. I almost wonder if, for those of you that did lose a job, if it, like, you did a lot more than they expected, and you leaving just, or, well, them firing you, I guess, or letting you go, left them with a crap sandwich to deal with, and they don't want to deal with the crap sandwich, so they come running back to you, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, pile 3, you want to work here again? And that's when you tell them, well, you're going to contract me, and you're going to pay me more. No, yeah, I get what you're worth, person, viewer. Pile 3, whatever your name is, right? Also, too, it could also be that, let's see, I'm trying to think for the other scenarios. For those of you where it was a relationship that you were let go from unexpectedly, you're gonna find out that you dodged a bullet. Okay, that's what I'm hearing for those of you where it was a relationship. I think something's gonna happen with that person that, like, say it was romantic especially, where you... Oh, it's something you realize in retrospect, and that's where the truth of the sun comes out, with that being the aspect of that particular meaning of the sun. The truth is going to come out, and you're going to be like, oh man, thank God they dropped me when they did. Which, I mean, I know right now, pile 3, that I know your heart hurts. I understand that. I can feel it. I understand 100%. But sometimes, I hate to use the old cliche, but rejection is divine protection. You were let go for a reason, and really, I mean, the imagery they're literally showing me is you and the partner, and a train is coming, and they think they're doing themselves a favor by throwing you away, not seeing the train, but really they just get hit with the train themselves, and you're the one that doesn't get struck because they're the one that tossed you out. That's kind of what I'm hearing. And then for those of you too where it is a job, if not that you're asked to come back, I think it might be that, like, you dodged a bullet being let go anyways. It's weird because it's like the feeling of release, being let go of, is actually turned into a positive here with the 8 of Wands, or I'm sorry, Swords, especially next to the Sun, okay? And then for those of you where it's like you released something and it didn't get the positive fanfare or reception that you were expecting, you know, be it music, or you started a business, insert thing here, you know, or even a presentation at work, it could be something as simple as that, right? It's going to turn out better than you expect, especially with that overwhelmingly positive energy of the sun as the outcome. I almost think that for some reason the feedback was restricted, hence the 8 of Swords being like, oh, I'm kind of stuck here. And Swords, too, pile number 3, are the suit of air, which is communication in tarot. Things that we say, things that are, you know, mouth, you know, with words, right? Sentences. I mean, well, duh. I mean, I'm rambling too much. You know what I mean, right? In fact, I wonder if some of you it was like like music. It was like something audible, or like poetry, writing, communication, something like that. Anyways, it was restricted for some reason, and then you're gonna find out the truth later that it was held back for whatever reason. I don't know if it was like a software glitch, if you like released something online, or like it's something weird like that. It's just, and then it turns around and you're like, oh, it was received better than I thought it was. Something glitched and I didn't quite see it yet, or like the data didn't update fast enough yet. Or like even if you released something and it wasn't necessarily like an online thing, like, you know, music to Spotify or YouTube or whatever. I almost wonder, pile 3, if it's like, oh yeah, if it's like more of a tangible good, let's see, or a business, let's say. Let me get an intuitive message. One moment. Apologies for just a second of silence here. Oh. They're saying for those of you it's more of a tangible good or business that you felt like you didn't get good feedback on. It's because, like, someone had to, like, wait a bit to give you eloquent enough feedback, or like they're gonna come back and make an order, or like give you some sort of reception that's a lot bigger than you expected, but it took time to get back to you because it took more time to prepare that response. Does that kind of make sense, pile 3? That's what I'm hearing about that. Okay, especially for those of you it's like a tangible thing that you released and you feel insecure that like nobody really paid attention to it. It's not that nobody paid attention. It's just that for some reason, communication has been kind of restricted, and then it's going to be let go of when the truth comes out with the sun. Okay, and then also happiness, too. That's what the sun means. It's happiness, it's joy, it's positivity, okay? So please be reassured that things are going to get better. Please be reassured that it's going to turn out just fine in the end. As I said, especially with the sun as your outcome. Very, very, very good card to get. Okay, let's look at some of your oracle cards, pile number 3. We're going to look at Woodland Wardens to begin here. We'll shuffle. I'm going to shuffle on my lap because for pile 2 today, I shuffled on the edge of my table and all the cards flew on the floor. So we're not going to do that again. All right, spirit guides. What else do you want to say about this? Advice, how it's going to get better. Right there, I'm feeling this particular card. Okay. All right, boom, right there. We received the otter and the cattail with peace as the keyword. A breath of relief, pile number 3. I'm sorry it's repetitive, but it's a good repetitive message in that whatever is chaotic right now, whatever you feel like you lack peace with, is going to come to a serenity and a peace of some sort, okay? You're going to feel peace. It's not going to be anxiety-inducing that much longer. You know, whatever your situation is, be it all the examples I provided. I won't repeat them all because, well, it'll just be too repetitive, right? There's a message coming through. 1 second. There's a vision here of like a boat on a river and hitting a rock, but it just glances off the blow when you thought it would sink the ship. It's like a riverboat, pile number 3. To translate that into mundane speak, not just, some symbolic things, right? It's basically like they're saying, oh, I wonder if that was the surprise with the Page of Cups. It's like that surprise of the rock, and you're like, oh man, this is going to sink the whole damn ship. But then it doesn't sink, and it just keeps going on. Like, it was just a glancing blow, and like nothing really gets affected. So especially right now, if you're in the anxiety of, like, you're right after the surprise bad thing happened, and you're in that free fall moment of, oh God, how is this going to land? How am I going to recover from this rock? Like, you hear it hit the hull of whatever your project or goal is. And it's that moment where you cringe and you're like, oh man, what just happened? But then you assess the damage and it's like, oh, there's like a paint scratch. That's what I'm hearing. That's the piece, okay? All right, let's look at your Healing Spirits Oracle too. Spirit guides, anything else you want to say about this situation to bring them comfort? Well, not too, pile 3, because, even when you think about being on a ship, I mean, the ship, when you're on water, is your security. And so when a surprise like that comes up and you feel like a rock hit the hull, or like, the iceberg hitting a Titanic, right? You feel like your security is at stake. You're like, oh God, this whole thing is going to sink, but it's not going to sink, pile number 3, okay? All right, I'm feeling this one right here, this section at least. There we go. Excuse me. So I said for the other piles today, my voice has been quite scratchy lately. Lots of wildfire smoke. Okay, we have You Are Your Purpose. So we have a bit of a life purpose message here, pile 3 from your spirit guides. Number 25, let's see, any repeated numbers here? I don't think I see any, no. So pile 3, You Are Your Purpose. What I'm hearing about that is that part of this process was put about by your spirit guides and specifically guardian angels, I'm hearing. Especially because of this particular imagery, there's a figure behind the main one in the center that has wings. So I think of guardian angels, right? There was part of this that was put in place by them, and it looks like you hitting a rock, but it... Oh, it's another really weird metaphor they're using. It's not only is it just a glancing blow, pile 3, not only is it just maybe a scratch of paint, but it knocks something back into place and working again that you thought was broken. Like, the imagery is literally of, like, the boat hitting the rock, and not only does it not sink it it fixes something on it. Like it puts a screw back into place that was off, that maybe you didn't even realize was off. It's like things getting back to alignment, things getting back to the way that they're supposed to be. But what it needed was a little bit of that nudge from the universe that felt like a disaster to actually just course correct. Okay. So a little bit of divine timing in this, a little bit of divine protection, guardian angel protection. They're protecting you as well, pile 3. I know it hurt, or it sucked, at least in the minimal, right? If not hurt really bad, right? But it's like you getting out of the way of the train. It's like you avoiding the iceberg. You're dodging bullets here. That's what you're doing, right? Oh God, I haven't seen The Matrix in a really long time. Isn't The Matrix the scene where the person, like, it goes slow-mo and they're, like, dodging bullets really fast? That's what I'm seeing right now for some reason. I think that's The Matrix. It's been a while. Yeah. Dodging bullets with style. Okay. Anything else you want to say, spirit guides? Maybe what they should surrender or what will be surrendered to cap off the reading today. Also, they're saying, pile 3, that if part of what this was you following your purpose, even if it feels like it went off course, you're on the right path, okay? Then we have surrendered the habit of people pleasing. A little bit of a side message here. We have speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. Maybe that's the bullet that you dodged, pile number 3. Maybe it was a toxic relationship where you people pleased too much and people walked all over you, or the person did. Maybe part of this fear of, like, when you released, if your case is that you released something and you felt like there was no fanfare, right? Or just crickets. Be confident in what you put out there, pile 3. Don't worry about pleasing people. Worry about expressing yourself truthfully and honestly and with your life purpose, okay? With what you live for. You know what? Sometimes the most satisfying thing in creating something and putting out there, pile 3, isn't the validation of other people getting back to you and saying, great job, which, I mean, that feels good. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm a YouTuber. I 100% look at analytics and stats all the time. I'm like, oh, how many views did I get today? I mean, of course, that's not what matters most to me. More so I look at the comments because I'm like, oh, I want to see, who was helped or what resonated, right? But we're all human. We look at statistics. We look at feedback. But sometimes the most pleasing thing about putting something out there is just looking back and saying, I did it. I don't care if it went to crickets at first, at least. I did it. And that puts you so far ahead of so many people that don't even try. Okay? Like, a lot of things that I guarantee you, if you were to round up every single person in the world that tried the same thing you did, pile 3, or I'm sorry, not tried the same thing you did, contemplated trying the same thing you did, I bet you 99% didn't have the stones, I'll say it that way, to try like you did. So even in the trying, pat yourself on the back. Although I think it is going to come to fruition better than you think it will. Just a bit of a delayed response, right? But yeah, same thing too, pile 3. Just in general, there's something about don't people please here. Don't people please. Be honest about your truth. And also, too, if it was a relationship that you were let go of, or let go from, or a job you were let go from, it's not that you didn't do enough. It's not that you didn't please people enough. Don't feel insecure. It's that maybe those people just were impossible to please. And so that, of course, does not fall in your court. It's not your ball, okay? It's not your fault. Be you. Unapologetic. I can't talk today. I keep stuttering for some reason. I don't know what that is. It's like that block communication thing again. Be you unapologetically. That's the word I wanted to use. Okay. And know that peace and light is coming. Happiness is coming. Truth is coming. Things were just a bit delayed. All right. You dodge bullets. Remember that. Being like, can't remember the name of the character. I feel dumb. Correct me in the comments. Whoever dodged the bullets in slow-mo, that's you. Okay, so that's your reading for today, pile number 3. I hope that you liked the reading, and of course, most of all, that it helped you. That's what I care about most, and that it resonated. And if so, please like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so already. And thank you so much if you choose to do so. And as is our tradition on Lone Pine Tarot, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile 3.